David Wells to start his 9th game of the year. He's won 4. He's a 2-button man. Some players leave that top button open, some all the way to the top, but he's got the top 2 buttons on that uniform shirt flying open. See what he's done. The rest of his pitching line this year. And here's the lineup that Tom Kelly has posted for the Minnesota Twins. Starting lineups brought to you by Bob Stores. Great buys on brands you wear. Matt Lawton leads it off. Brent Gates second. Then Paul Molitor in the 3rd spot. Marty Cordova, Ron Coomer, and Alex Ochoa. The bottom 3rd, John Shea, Javier Valentin, and Pat Mears.
Defensively for the Yankees behind David Wells this afternoon as they close out this 3-game series. In the infield, Brosius, Jeter, Knobloch, and Martinez. Curtis Williams, O'Neill in the outfield. Lozada doing the catching. We highlight Chuck Knobloch because he made a couple of errors in yesterday's ball game. Only the 3rd time that he's ever made 2 errors in a game. One of those occasions was against the Yankees last season.
And the Yankees are really trying to downplay his throwing problems, and that is probably the best way to handle it. If they draw too much attention to it, it'll probably get worse. Matt Lawton takes high for a ball.
Looking at Matt Lawton, in each one of the games in this series, he has batted within the first 3 spots in the order. Today, he's leading off.
For a strike. Tim McClellan, the home plate umpire. You adjust your timing when he's behind the plate because he's one of the more deliberate strike callers. He's also one of the more respected umpires in a poll taken by players and managers. Curveball low. It's 2-1. Umpires lineup brought to you by NAM, National Arbitration and Mediation. Most timely, cost-effective way to settle your legal disputes. Richie Garcia, the crew chief, is second. Mike Riley and John Hirschbeck round out the crew. In the air to left, Curtis. A couple of steps to his left, puts it away, 1 down.
Check out our scouting report on David Wells. Lots of fastballs, particularly early in the count. First pitch strikes, follow the fastballs. And as Kitty mentioned, he turned it around in his last start. He was struggling the first 3 innings. From that point on, he really got it together, and the Yankees won the game 3-2.
It was like the 4th inning where it seemed that David said to himself, hey, nothing else is working. I'm just going out there and let it fly as hard as I can. And he really dominated the Royals the last half of the game. First pitch fastball in for a strike to Brent Gates. Brent Gates, you may recall, during his days with the Oakland Athletics, he was a #1 draft pick 5 years ago. 0-2. Lots of injuries. Thumb, knee, even broke a bone in his leg fouling a ball off his left leg, and he's resurfaced with the Twins. Very appropriate since he went to the University of Minnesota. 3 pitch. Well, he caught a piece of it. He'll stay alive, and it's still 0-2.
We mentioned the University of Minnesota. There have been 22 players that have come out of the University of Minnesota into the big leagues. 11 of them at one time in their careers played for the Twins.
In the air toward left again. Curtis over, Bernie Williams in. And Bernie will make the call and the catch. 2 down.
So they have a habit of bringing back the homeboys. And there's 3 of them, and another one coming up right now.
Out of Cretan High in St. Paul, Minnesota, and then on to the Golden Gophers. Not accustomed to seeing that average at 255. Paul Molitor really bothered by a shoulder injury. That left shoulder has prevented him from really turning on the ball like he did in past years. Jammed on that one, tapped out to Knobloch. And he throws out Molitor. David Wells has a nifty 1-2-3 inning. Yankees coming to bat against young LaTroy Hawkins when we come back on MSG.
New York Yankees baseball is brought to you by the irresistible taste that makes you say, did somebody say McDonald's? By American Express. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, American Express helps you do more. By your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer. And by Nobody Beats the Wiz Home Entertainment Center.
You see a few empty seats up in the upper deck, but they'll be filled before another couple innings. You're looking at a terrific all-around athlete out of Gary, Indiana, LaTroy Hawkins, coming off 2 solid wins.
Well, he was all-state in high school in basketball and baseball. In fact, he played against the big dog, Glenn Robinson, in high school. But he turned to baseball, and you can see the walks outnumber the strikeouts. Although he's coming in having won 2 straight. That's a career high for LaTroy Hawkins, and he's been throwing about the best that he has been in his career. And you mentioned that some of the veteran pitchers have been talking to him about you don't have to throw the ball 100 miles an hour to win.
Let's take a look at the Yankee lineup today against 25-year-old LaTroy Hawkins. Chuck Knobloch leads it off. In fact, the lineup looks the same as it does about every day. Jeter, O'Neill, Martinez, and Bernie Williams. Darryl Strawberry's the DH, and then Curtis, Posada, and Brocious. And Knobloch to lead it off. You mentioned the veteran pitchers. Bob Tewksbury in particular, along with Mike Morgan, have been a good influence on young pitchers like LaTroy Hawkins, trying to encourage him to challenge hitters. Here's Bob Tewksbury, loser in yesterday's game, but pitched quite well. His defense let him down. And first pitch outside for a ball. Tewksbury, in talking about the Yankee lineup yesterday, said these guys are so disciplined. He said when you face the Red Sox, they're free swingers. They're good hitters, but they're free swingers. They'll chase a few pitches. In for strike, 1-1. But he said the Yankee lineup, those borderline pitches, they just are so disciplined. They take you deep in the count, and he was so impressed with the day that Jeter had yesterday. Hit one to right, to center, and a couple to left.
In a game in Minnesota that Brad Radke pitched, another one of the starters for the Twins, he mentioned that the Yankees never swung at a ball in the dirt during the game that he pitched.
The league's leading hitter in the month of May, waiting on deck. Low, 2-1. Now this will be quite a challenge for LaTroy Hawkins. Pitching in Yankee Stadium in front of a full house against a tough lineup like this, and when you aren't known as a control pitcher. Caught the edge, 2-2.
They say that every one of his pitches, fastball, curve, slider, or change, are above major league average. It's just a matter of controlling them and getting all of them to work at the same time. When hitters can sit back and wait for one pitch because you're not getting anything else over, that's when you get yourself in trouble.
Play. The count holds 2-2. Well, you get a chance to get your arm loose in a hurry against the Yankee lineup, because between Knobloch and Jeter, you're going to throw about 12 to 15 pitches. If you don't throw all of them in the strike zone right off the bat, because they're going to make you work.
David Wells in the top half of this inning only threw 10 pitches for 3 outs.
Right at Coomer, the first baseman catches the sinking line drive, and Knobloch is retired.
Well, we saw the first baseman Ron Coomer make a nice play for the first out of the game. Let's check out the rest of the Minnesota Twins defensively. Shave, Mears, Gates. You saw Coomer at first. Valentin doing the catching. Cordova, Lawton, and Ochoa in the outfield. A look at Alex Ochoa, and one of the things that he's possessed. Now, he hasn't come on with his hittings, but his defense is excellent, particularly his throwing arm. If we get a chance to see it today, you'll see somebody stop before heading to the next base. He's got a great arm in right.
Jeter steps in. Late on the fastball, strike one. You saw Ochoa look up into the sky and sort of squint. He has no sunglasses, and I think we're going to see some players scamper for them. The sun is about to break through here and brighten things up. Only 59 degrees. What a change from yesterday. There you'll see the haze hanging over the stadium, but it appears to be getting a little brighter. Again, late on the fastball. It's 0-2.
The lights are on, but a lot of people are home.
There's the hottest hitters during the month of May, and the top 2 are Yankees. Bobby Higginson for the Tigers having a terrific year.
And Tony Fernandez started out very cold in April.
Again, late on the fastball. What impressed Bob Tewksbury yesterday, he said he went over the scouting reports with Terry Steinbach, and he said, I think you can pitch Derek Jeter a lot like Alex Rodriguez. You can get in on him. And then he said, I made what I thought was a pretty decent pitch on the outside part. Jeter took that to right field for a base hit. And he said he found out I can't get in on him like pitchers did last year. Whole league is finding that out. 1-2.
Scouting report on LaTroy Hawkins. Great athlete. We mentioned the fact that he was all-state in high school in basketball and baseball. Very live arm. Questionable control, man. When we say that, we mean he can usually control his fastball, but the other pitches don't fall in the line.
There's a breaking ball, and he's fouled out of play. Still 1-2 to Jeter. And what a lineup like the Yankees will usually do to a LaTroy Hawkins is the second pass through. If he doesn't show them that he can get his off-speed pitches over, that fastball is not going to be quite as effective the second time through. You notice that Knobloch and Jeter have been late on it here in the first inning. Good swing there, fouled straight back.
Hawkins has one of those very smooth deliveries. A little less herky-jerky than you'll see from David Wells.
O'Neill waiting on deck. His average, as usual, over 300. Breaking ball. Jeter takes it to right field, and another hit. As Joe Torre said, pack him in ice.
Well, he fouled off several fastballs, got a slider out over the plate. Slider's just a hair slower than the fastball, and he was ready for it. Drives it into right field for the base hit. The ball going away from him. He goes the other way, picks up the hit. Wow.
15 straight games, and the average now up to 342. Now, the Yankees haven't stolen a base in how many games did you say?
The last game in Minnesota, Chuck Knobloch stole the base. That was May the 8th. Or maybe it wasn't the last game in Minnesota, but it was May the 8th. Since then, they've had six caught stealing. That was the Friday night game in Minnesota.
There he goes. And with the inexperienced catcher and the motion of LaTroy Hawkins, the Yankees take quick advantage of that.
Well, back on track maybe. It looked like Jeter spun out a little bit. See, he didn't have quite the start he might want, but he picked it up. The throw by Valentin is high, and Jeter is in there. That breaks the string of 6 Yankees in a row being caught stealing. And you can see the reaction of Valentin. Now, there's a guy on second. No chance to get it.
A young pitcher, 6'5", with a kind of a long delivery, and the Yankees are going to take advantage of that. Low, 1-1 to O'Neill. Derek's 10th stolen base of the year. The Yankees as a team 47 now, but they have fallen into second place. The Toronto Blue Jays lead the American League in stolen bases. Dino Martinez, the cleanup hitter, waiting on deck. Off-speed pitch. Misses, and it's 2-1. Look at our New York Marriott Marquis pitching matchup in his career. Just 10 innings of work. LaTroy Hawkins 1-1. And David Wells has always done well against the Twins, back to his days with the Blue Jays and the Orioles as well, and the Detroit Tigers.
I had a talk with Paul O'Neill in the locker room before the game, and sometimes he can be really fatalistic. I can't hit home runs anymore. I just can't do it.
Losing his power.
But yeah, he was talking about hitting that line shot off the wall yesterday in right field. Can't get the ball up in the air. And I reminded him that home runs are just line drives gone wrong. You're up there trying to hit line drives. You get underneath one. He's hit 3. I mean, 3 days in a row he hit them. Sometimes they come in bunches, and that's how you get to your 20.
Good fastball, and O'Neill's down on strikes. Quick check with Tim McClellan to ask, was that pitch a strike? There's the live arm you were talking about. That had a little heat on it.
It looked like he added a few miles per hour, and this pitch is almost in the middle of the plate, and O'Neill is late, can't get to it. And I don't think you'll see Paul O'Neill strike out many times on a pitch like that. He'll make some sort of contact. It's almost as if he was looking for something else.
Tino Martinez second in the league to Juan Gonzalez in the RBI race.
Yeah, I was looking at that this morning, and Gonzalez now has 50.
Halfway around the board.
Halfway around the board.
Ball one to Tino. Very quietly in the top 10 in batting average. You think of Tino as an RBI man, but his average at 333 in the top 10. Inside edge, 1-1. Yeah, this looks like a pass through the order where the veteran Yankee hitters are going to see. Let's just see if we can gauge that fastball. And then if he doesn't get the other stuff over, see if they can jump on him the second time. That'll be their approach. Just a little low, 2-1. Day off tomorrow, and then the Orioles come into town. There's some really good matchups. If Mike Messina can pitch after being hit by a line drive, suffering a broken nose, there's still some hope that he might be able to take his regular turn. It'll be David Cone and Mike Messina on Tuesday night. Hawkins wants another sign. We'll start with our New York Marriott's Yankee scorecard show at 7. And of course the Orioles in here for 3 games. Jimmy Key and Scott Erickson scheduled to pitch the other 2.
Orioles in a tough situation. 9.5 games behind, a game under 500. They were beaten by Rolando Orojo of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays last night in Baltimore. So after today, they have a chance to be in double figures behind the Yankees.
Off-speed pitch hit to center field, and Matt Lawton. Tell the ball is carrying. He drifts all the way back to the warning track to pull that one in. Hawkins pitches a scoreless first. We head to the top of the second here at the stadium. No score between the Twins and the Yankees. The third game of the 3-game series, and since the opening week, the Yankees have not lost the series. They are 11-0, and they've split 3. First pitch to Cordova, in for a ball. Marty Cordova, no home runs. The Twins last in the American League in home runs, and he's their cleanup hitter. They're looking for him to get started. On the edge, 1-1.
First pitch was a cutter down and in, then right back over that outside corner. That's moving the ball around. Boom, boom, in and out, up and down, and back in.
He did swing, said John Hirschbeck. This is primarily a strike-calling umpiring crew.
That's why the Yankees had their fastest game of the year yesterday. 2 hours and 22 minutes.
That one fouled out of play. Richie Garcia may have been a little stingy on Friday night. Mike Riley behind the plate in yesterday's game.
No, he's giving hitting tips. Yeah,
he's telling Chuck Knobloch.
Just the way I used to do it, Chuck.
Yes. Wells backhand that one and toss out Cordova. First out of the Twins' second. We invite you to catch all the action when those Baltimore Orioles come to town on Tuesday night. And they'll be here Wednesday and Thursday as well. All 7:30 games, and on Tuesday the 19th, a special pregame ceremony for the national unveiling of the decade of the 1920s Babe Ruth stamp. Tickets available now at the stadium through Ticketmaster, Yankee Clubhouse stores. You can even get them on the web, www.yankees.com. Big slow curveball. Misses for a ball to Ron Coomer. And you might expect Wells to mix his pattern up. I mean, Coomer has owned David Wells.
At one time, he had 7 consecutive hits off of David Wells.
There's another curve. It's 1-1.
That's the highest of any player versus Wells, minimum 10 at bats. That's like your dad pitching to you in the backyard. Wow. Yeah, you know.
And of those 8 hits, 2 are home runs. say on a hot day he's keeping cool, but it's a little cool in that dugout, hiding from someone.
Witness protection.
And you can see David Wells knows that Ron Coomer's been tough on him, because he's thrown him 2 curveballs and then a fastball out of the strike zone. He's usually a little more aggressive, and looks like Posada's thrown a breaking ball down there. Well, fastball hit well, right field corner, O'Neill over, and it slices foul into the stands. It'll even the count at 2-2.
Now Coomer hits the ball well to the opposite field. In fact, I believe he's leading the league in opposite field hits. So he likes the ball out over the plate, and he's quite capable of going the other way with authority. That one kind of slices off the end of the bat, and that's why it tailed to the seats. Didn't really drive it the way you wanted.
Now when you check your league leaders in hitting and guys that are hitting well, they're the kind that use the whole field, as Coomer did there, Jeter did in the first inning. You pitch them outside, they'll take the ball the other way.
Especially with 2 strikes. They're kind of cutting down their stroke anyway.
Got it. Well, Wells gets back at one of in fact, the toughest hitter he has to deal with in the American League, and Coomer is down on strikes, 2 down.
I always thought the toughest pitcher for me personally was a pitcher who wasn't afraid to come to the inner half with 2 strikes, because he makes you swing the bat. There's no such thing as just laying the bat out there, putting wood on it, just driving the ball through the middle or to the opposite field. David Wells, quite capable of coming inside with his fastball, made Coomer have to swing the bat, swing it as quickly as he could just to get the bat head out, struck him out.
Ochoa takes the high inside fastball. You mentioned Ochoa's strong throwing arm. Of course, a top prospect with the Baltimore Orioles. They didn't want to give him up until they traded him to the New York Mets. That did not work out for the Mets, and he goes to Minnesota, and Rich Becker now playing in that. The Twins are very, very happy with Alex Ochoa. Well, you can have them all. You get the Beanie Baby as well today. There's a jam shot popped into foul territory, and Posada will make the grab. David Wells has breezed through the first 2 innings, retiring all 6 Minnesota Twins. Yankees coming to bat when we come back at the stadium after this. Well, look at the McCombs Dam Bridge right outside of Yankee Stadium. We remind you, Yankee Baseball brought to you in part by the new Dodge. See your local Dodge dealer today. And you used to play some baseball over there, didn't you?
There's McCombs Dam Park. You see which way the heavy traffic is headed? McCombs Dam Park is in that direction, just below the bridge. And played there quite a few years outside of Yankee Stadium.
How about that?
Hey!
Billy Crystal. Big time Yankee fan. Telling everybody he's on the, yep, you're on the tube. Bernie Williams will lead it off. Career-wise against Hawkins, 2 for 6. And both hits have been home runs. They've gone to the bridge. High for a ball. The reason I mentioned that, we were talking about dugout lingo the other day, and nowadays it's he went yard, or he went deep. When I first came up, they would sit in the dugout and say, go to the bridge. Take him to the bridge. And I assumed that meant that there was a ballpark somewhere where if you hit it over the wall, it would go to the bridge. You can identify with that. 2-0 to Bernie. In fact, you said you hit a bridge over there, but maybe not the McCombs Dam Bridge.
Well, you didn't see it there, but the ballpark actually, if you hit one up in right field, you can get it up on the bridge there, and I'll admit I did it once.
Now 3-0. And I would assume if Bernie wants to, he can swing away as Darryl Strawberry waits on deck. That should be a good matchup for Strawberry. Hawkins' fastball hasn't gotten his breaking ball over. We could see a monster home run today.
Speaking of going to the bridge, huh?
That's in for a strike. Did you like to hit 3-0?
I didn't get a chance to very often because Eddie Murray was on deck and they wanted me to get off. Yeah. So they would have me try to get on for Eddie. Of course, he got to hit 3-0.
With some hitters, even if they get the sign, that's hit well left field. Cordova got turned around and he can't recover in time. That's off the wall. Bernie will have a stand-up double. Twins have had some problems in the outfield between Lawton, who is not experienced in center, but Marty Cordova is in left. And you can see Tom Kelly say, yeah, he turned him, spun him around.
Marty Cordova out in left field. First of all, Bernie's going to smoke this ball towards left, and then Cordova gets caught in the spin cycle out there. Watch him turn the other way, and still can't get back quickly enough to make the play. Ball was hit very hard. It's a two-base hit. And here's the concentration on Bernie Williams on the 3-1 pitch. Something you look for to drive hard, and he does so.
And here's Darryl Strawberry. Good fastball there, but it's inside ball one.
He did that yesterday with the bubble.
One of the tougher left fields to play is Yankee Stadium with the swirling winds, and good example of that is how Cordova got turned around out there.
And not only that, but the amount of ground you have to cover. And that's why when I played years ago, they put me in right field here. That's not as much ground to cover.
You see the bat up there would lead you to believe it's carrying out toward left, but it's not. It's carrying to right. And fasten your seatbelt on this fastball if Strawberry gets it where he wants it. Ooh. He got it. No contact. I'd like to have another one like that. I think that was right in his joy zone.
Sometimes when you want to go to the bridge, you have to pay the toll first. He didn't quite get it.
2-1.
That's that live arm again.
Yeah. Hawkins gets the fastball past Strawberry, and it's 2-2.
That was a better pitch than the previous one. It was more towards the corner. You see Javier Valentin sneak out to the corner. The pitch was a pretty good one.
Trusting his fastball, and he's got a good one. Hawkins has won his last 2 starts. Beat the Orioles in his last start, holding them to 3 earned runs in 7 innings. So he's probably as confident as he's been at any time during his brief career. In the air to left, not hit deep. Not deep enough for Bernie Williams to advance, and Cordova's there to put it away, 1 down.
Not quick enough on the heat. But sometimes as the game goes along, the pitcher thinks in his next few, he's throwing just as hard as he was in the first couple of innings, but he's really not. And it's hard for him to get a fastball by it. And that's when the hitters start to come around. That second and third time through the order. Fastball doesn't quite have the pop, but that's something you might want to look for. The Yankees' next pass through the order. Right now, Hawkins has a pretty good fastball.
Williams takes his lead. Here's Chad Curtis. On the edge for a strike. Hawkins, and you mentioned that second time through. Look at Chad's numbers, over 300 to the batting average and a handful of home runs. He has thrown at least 2 balls out of the strike zone to just about every Yankee hitter. So they're getting a chance to see a lot of pitches. Cross up, I believe, and Valentin must have been looking for the curveball, looking for the local, and he got the express, or it just popped out of his glove.
He really should go out there and talk to Hawkins. Let's get this together. With a man on second, the signs change. Every once in a while, there's a mix-up. And you can see he was looking outside. Ball hits off the glove and bounds away. Watch him shift to the outside, looking for a slider. Got a fastball. Hits the glove, and that's going to be a pass ball. See, that's why he's upset, too. A PB.
So now with 1 down and Bernie Williams at third, you see what the Twins do. They bring the right side of the infield in, keep the left side back. Talking to Don Zimmer about that strategy. What that tells Chad Curtis is you can't just hit a lazy ground ball to the right side and get the run in. So Zim used to use that deployment a great deal. it forces you, if you're Chad Curtis, to say, I got to try to pull the ball if I want to get it through the infield.
Usually if you pull the ball, you hit it with more authority. There's more jam shots and slow rollers go to the right side. Another reason why the infield's in on that side.
There you go. Fouled out of play. That has not been Chad's strong suit, I think, because he tends to be more of an anxious hitter. You see the infield alignment. I think a pitcher can take advantage of his anxiety more so than a lot of the Yankee veteran hitters. Up the middle, Hawkins, and Bernie had to hold his ground, and Hawkins' strong throw gets Curtis. Obviously, the contact play wasn't on, and as soon as that ball chopped high off the mound.
It's that athletic ability you were talking about, Kitty. The fact to get off the mound. First of all, he's on a hill. Then he has to back up, make the play. You see Bernie Williams. If his ball gets over his head, Bernie can score. But you see how quickly he recovers, gets back, looks at Bernie, and then fires a seed over the first base to get Curtis.
That's a play. If you're Bernie Williams at third base, you have to make up your mind as soon as it's hit. And I think if you talk to the Yankee coaching staff, Bernie is a terrific all-around ball player. He's not necessarily a quick reactor on plays like that. He won't get that quick first step like a Derek Jeter would.
Instant judgment when you run to the base. Anytime you hesitate, just stay where you are. You're not going to make it.
Here's Posada with 2 down. Outside corner, strike 1.
Here's a good match here. I think Posada hits a fastball almost as good as anybody on the team. Tino Martinez, Posada. Jeter's hitting anything right now. Joe Girardi, good fastball hitter.
And hitting 8th in the lineup. You've seen the other guys go up there, and I don't think Hawkins has gotten more than 1 or 2 off-speed pitches in the strike zone yet. Laid on the fastball. I think he's showing the Yankee hitters a little more zip. Maybe it's partially the motion, that nice, easy, fluid motion, but most of the fastballs have been fouled the opposite way. They've been late.
There's a little fire there. It is definitely, what'd you say, temperature's down 59 today?
Yep.
But he's throwing in the 90s there.
Warming it up a little. Another one in on the hands, late, fouled out of play. Still 0-2. 6'5", 205 pounds, tall, lean, out of Gary, Indiana. 7th round draft pick of the Twins back in 1991. Brocious, another one of those hot May hitters in the American League, is waiting on deck. Looked to be an attempted slider, and that slipped out. You see him go to his mouth. The pitchers can blow on their hands today because of the cool temperatures, and this is the toughest weather from the pitcher standpoint to get a grip on the ball. Wells bundled up with the jacket on. The ball's kind of slick. It's like when you read a book or turn a page. Today's the kind of day you have to lick your fingers, get a little traction. Another off-speed pitch. Fouled out of play, and it's 1-2.
The changeup was down. If he throws his best fastball up, it's going to be tough for Posada to catch up to it.
Looks like Willie Randolph and Bernie Williams mimicking Hawkins' pitching motion, seeing if they can pick up anything. Late again, stays alive, and again Hawkins has had to throw a lot of pitches to this Yankee lineup the first time through.
Now the Yankees aren't really tattooing the ball, but they are a good fastball hitting team. There's a lot of other teams with hitters that would have missed some of these pitches and not fouled them off. He didn't miss many, especially with men on base.
Left field line, that's going to reach the seats. Good 2-strike approach here by Posada. And one of 50,000 plus by the time the afternoon is over gets a souvenir. Al Troutwig will be along in the 4th inning with his Beanie Baby. He's one of the baby right-handers doing such a great job for the Yankee pitching staff. Ramiro Mendoza coming off 2 consecutive solid wins. Got away from Valentin, and the Yankees are going to get a gift run. A pass ball and a wild pitch, and Bernie Williams scores, and it's 1-0 Yankees.
Well, first of all, the mix-up at second on the signs for the pass ball that drove Bernie over to third. And this one, pitch in the dirt. Now the sign is right there. It looked like a fastball. It bounces between the legs of Valentin and certainly far enough away for Bernie Williams to trot home with the Yankees' first run. There's a reaction from Bernie at third. You can see he could take his time, and there was no play at the plate.
Big Joe Torre is explaining to Bernie about the previous play with a man on with Curtis at the plate. This is grounded to Coomer. Hawkins is there to cover. So the Yankees are down, but not before they get 1 run off LaTroy Hawkins in the 2nd inning. Bernie Williams double. Pass ball and the wild pitch. We're heading to the top of the 3rd. David Wells perfect through 2. Back on MSG after this. Welcome back to Yankee Stadium. On a nice, brighter afternoon. Flowers in bloom. Brighter than when we started at 59 degrees about 45 minutes ago. John Shave, the Twins' third baseman, will step in. First pitch swinging, fouled out of play. Shave, 28 years old, out of Mississippi State, actually drafted by the Texas Rangers a few years ago and didn't make it with their ball club and getting a chance to play with the Twins.
Will Clark, Rafael Palmeiro out of Mississippi State.
Inside, 1-1. First college baseball game I ever broadcast had Will Clark, Rafael Palmeiro, Bobby Thigpen hitting 5th, and Jeff Brantley was the starting pitcher. They had 4 big leaguers, blue chippers on that team. Good swing, fouled straight back, and again Wells shows you he'll be aggressive with his fastball. And the difference between Wells and Hawkins here in the first 2 innings is Wells has been consistently ahead of hitters, and Hawkins has been behind. Checked on the curve, 2-2.
Tried to get him to chase. Shave wouldn't do it. Shave was hitting very well down at the Pacific Coast League at Salt Lake City. He was hitting over 370 when he got recalled.
There's a good curveball, and he got it. Strikeout number 2 for Wells.
Now, one thing David Wells has is that good downer. We talked about the dot in the pitch. Hitters call it the dot. The ball will come up, stop in an area, dot, and then dive straight for the strike zone. Boom, in there for call strike 3. It's almost as if the ball pauses in midair, and then you know, if you haven't reacted correctly, you're going to have a problem.
Here is Javier Valentin as the second K is posted on the facade out in the outfield stands. Ball 1. That's a brother of Jose Valentin, shortstop for the Milwaukee Brewers. Javier, just 22 years old. Holding fastball, 1-1.
You notice that Javier has 1 home run. That was his first major league home run at the Kingdome off of Bill Swift. That was in an afternoon game. That night, his brother Jose hit a home run for Milwaukee.
They're having quite a year in that National League Central.
You can imagine both. Well, maybe not Jose calling home. He's done it plenty of times before. But Javier, sure, he called home.
Black cord fever. Inside, 2-1. Wells has retired the first 7. Mendoza retired the first 12 in yesterday's game. Get away. Pulled fouled on the left field line. Curtis gives chase, and that'll reach the seats. It's 2-2. And that doesn't bode well for the Twins, the fact that they're going out in order in the early going, because they outscore the opposition almost 2-1 in the first 3 innings of a ball game. But then after that, the trend reverses. So the Twins have been able to jump on some teams when they do win early in the ball game.
And plus what you find with David Wells, and the same thing Ramiro Mendoza did yesterday, not using up that pitch total.
Curveball, pulled foul. Still 2-2. Well, the Yankee starters average more innings per start than any staff in the American League, 6 2/3. Even in a rough outing on Friday night, Andy Pettitte pitched 7 innings. Joe Torre has made fewer pitching changes than any manager in the league, keeping that bullpen fresh. Now the count's gone full. Only 89 pitching changes. 6 2/3 innings per start for the rotation. Good at bat for Valentin. He's laid off a couple of curveballs.
Over the National League, the Houston Astros have made 84 pitching changes, which is the fewest in baseball. But their manager, Larry Dierker, and of course he being a former pitcher, 20-game winner for the Astros 20-so years ago, he was a guy who wanted to stay in the ball games, and he told his pitching staff when he took over the club last year, I'm going to let you guys stay in and work out of your own jams.
Allowed to play again, and they're doing it.
They are doing it.
You saw in your picture Hideki Irabu, he understands baseball language. You see him with his finger saying, ooh, that hurt, because he knew Wells' fastball got in on the hands of Valentin. He's adjusted to the sunflower seeds quite well.
He's starting to understand English a lot better, too, because he made a pitch in a game in Minnesota.
Got him. Fastball, belt high, strike 3, and Valentin knew it. Back-to-back strikeouts for Wells. He's retired 8 in a row.
Well, best pitch in baseball is the fastball, especially well spotted. Boom, right there. See you later. And no doubt about this one. Valentin knew it. Didn't pull the trigger. He's frozen. He's talking about Hideki in Minnesota. He threw a pitch that was kind of well out of the strike zone. It was a cutter. And when he came back to the dugout, he said in English, needs work.
He doesn't need a lot of work.
No.
He's been pitching. Pat Mears' average has fallen below 300 now. He's in a bit of a slide, so Tom Kelly has him hitting out of the 9-hole, and just like that, the count is 0-2.
And Mears only 13 for 69 in his last 19 games.
Fans sensing what's going on. They're pulling for Wells to have a Ron Guidry inning. 3 strikeouts. And he'd be perfect through the first 3. Ooh, just off the edge. 2-2.
I think what you saw with that, we talk about getting the strike zone back to the way it used to be. Hitters would swing at that pitch if they knew, it's too close for them to take.
Got it. With a changeup. The hat trick. 3 strikeouts. Wells has struck out 4 in the first 3 innings. He has retired all 9 Minnesota Twins. Perfect through 3. Yankees lead it by a run. Back after this. New York Yankee Baseball is brought to you in part by American Express. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, American Express helps you do more. Cotton candy, Beanie Babies, Yankee souvenirs. Great day for a young fan at the ballpark. If he was here all weekend, he's got an umbrella and a pair of athletic socks to go with that. First pitch to Brocious in for a strike. Well, you can't beat it on a nice spring afternoon, seeing the best team in Major League Baseball right now with a record of 27-9.
And a ninth place hitter hitting .325.
Grounded toward third base. John Shade is there. Toss across the diamond to Coomer in time. 1 down.
Second baseman.
That'll bring up Chuck Knobloch for the second time. Now let's see what the Yankee hitters do with Hawkins the second time through the order.
Well, Knobloch was late on a lot of fastballs. Of course, he was the first man to face Hawkins in the ball game, and sometimes pitchers like to make that statement. Everybody else on the bench is watching Knobloch being late on swings.
And for a strike.
They figure it's going to be a rough day with the fastball.
Well, the challenge for a pitcher that second time through is begin to get more of your other pitches over the plate. And so far, Hawkins has been able to survive with the fastball. There's looked like a slider, didn't it? Low, 1-1. See Chuck's routine. If you missed our New York Marriott scorecard show, Kenny had a chance to visit with Frank Robinson about the pace of play, not necessarily the length of games. That's outside 2-1, and he put a lot of the onus on the hitters because of this. They see, by stepping out of the box and going through that routine, the clock on the pitcher never starts until the hitter gets ready. Hit well left field, but Cordova's right there. 2 down in the Yankee third. Well, fight fans, on Saturday, June 6th, the heavyweight championship of the world returns to Madison Square Garden. The real deal, Evander Holyfield, who was our guest on Friday night, he's set to defend his heavyweight title against 6'7" giant Henry Akinwande at the Mecca. Holyfield joins Ali, Frazier, Lewis, Dempsey, and Holmes as the only heavyweight champs to defend their title at the Garden. Tickets for the June 6th championship bout between Holyfield and Akinwande on sale at the Garden box office and all Ticketmaster locations. Slider low to Jeter, ball 1. Yankees have 2 hits. Derek has 1 of them.
We mentioned that he was tied for the league lead in runs scored.
Ooh. Good fastball.
He'd actually taken the lead yesterday. Griffey scored a run, so he tied Jeter. They both have 36 apiece.
He's 5th in batting average, 4th in hits, top 5 in multi-hit games. Good swing there, fouled straight back. And it's 1-2. O'Neill waiting on deck. He was a strikeout victim. Hawkins' only strikeout back in the first inning. Wow, looked like Hawkins dropped down a little 3/4 and zips that fastball in on the outside corner, and Jeter is down on strikes. A very impressive inning for LaTroy Hawkins. We've played 3 at the stadium. Al Trautwig will join me in the 4th inning. Yankees lead. That's when good pitchers duel. It's 1-0. Welcome back to the stadium. Another good solid start for David Wells. Perfect through 3. Speaking of perfect, welcome.
I don't understand.
Aren't you perfect?
No.
Thought you were.
No, it gets worse every day, as a matter of fact. Both pitchers looking good, though. David Wells and LaTroy Hawkins. Wells has retired the minimum number of Twins he'd have to face through 3, so he's back at the top of the order here in the 4th. Matt Lawton looks at the big looper. Boy, he's gotten some big, huge curveballs over the plate.
Yeah, that's the strength of Wells. He's only thrown 41 pitches through the first 3 innings. He'll use the fastball, which is the best pitch in baseball, to get ahead.
There's a fastball high and outside, 3-0.
Yeah, a little hiccup right here. with 3 straight pitches missing the strike zone. That doesn't happen very often with him.
It's the outside corner. You and Ken were talking about the point where a big curveball dips and dives as you look at the Toyota box score. Nothing down the list for the Minnesota Twins. Pop up to the infield. Jeter shades his eyes with the glove, and 1 out. It's getting brighter and brighter and brighter here in the Bronx. Last inning, David Wells struck out the side. John Shave. There's that big looper. Valentin. Fastball. Mears. A little something off, right?
Like a cutter or a change, one of everything.
Fastball for a strike. That the dip and dive, there's actually a grip point, isn't there, for a pitch? It's like you put that mammoth spin on the ball, and then there's that point where the spin grips the ball and it takes effect, right?
Where the aerodynamics take over. It's like watching a bowling ball going down the alley, spinning so fast, and when it gets close to the pins, it takes, and that's the same thing with a baseball.
Yankees really got a gift run, didn't they? That Bernie Williams double that turned into a pass ball wild pitch run fouled off.
Well, the Yankees gave up an unearned run yesterday. It was their first one in the month of May, and that's what they've been able to, in addition to all the great hitting heroics by Bernie Williams and the rest of the Yankees, they played mistake-free baseball for the most part.
Another foul ball. The hitter is Brent Gates, the ex-member of the Oakland A's, hitting 127 with a home run and 8 RBIs. And you did point up the long list of injuries that this guy's had in his career.
He's in there for one reason today. He's better than a .500 hitter against Wells in his career.
Yeah, the Twins have a few on their roster that have really handled David Wells well in their time. Gates, for example, in his career, 6 for 12. That's an even .500 when he faces Wells. Here's that big curveball. Strikeout for Wells. That's his 5th of the ball game. He has now struck out 4 of the last 5 he's faced.
We mentioned it started about the 4th inning of David's last start, where all of a sudden he said, I'm just going to let it go, quit trying to trick hitters, here comes my best stuff, see what you can do with it. And he's been a much more aggressive pitcher and much more effective. Perfect spot for a curveball. See, it broke down over the plate. If it breaks in or out, the hitter will tend to check on it, but when it breaks right over the plate, you get a lot of swings.
Tom Kelly very attentive. You know, we saw this last year, Jim, with David Wells. Joe Torre seemed to know the right way and the right time to challenge David Wells to be better. And I don't know if you can say that David's last 2 results, and he's obviously in a groove today, are the result of Joe Torre saying, hey, you know, maybe he's not in the best shape, and maybe this and maybe that. But it happened last season as well when the George Steinbrenner incident took place in the clubhouse. Wells responded after that by really buckling down.
Yeah, I think with this team, Joe Torre will say, I don't mess with him a lot when the game starts. I just let them play. He does his managing probably in the clubhouse more than in the dugout.
10 straight strikes David Wells has thrown. He wants 11 to Molitor. It breaks the string. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Molitor, the Twins and the Yankees surrounded by this big Beanie Baby phenomenon here today in the Bronx. Swung late, gets it high in the air to left. And another 1-2-3 inning for David Wells. Twins still looking for their first hit. Yankees have a 1-0 lead as Wells gets another strikeout here in the 4th. It's the New York Rangers offseason. That's their PR chief, John Rosasco, to the left, and the coach of the Rangers, John Muckler, to the right. Muckler's a get down to business kind of guy, so he would want me to tell you that this copyrighted telecast is authorized under rights granted by the Yankees and solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Yankees and MSG Network is prohibited. A strike to Paul O'Neill, who struck out for the 19th time this season, first time up against LaTroy Hawkins. O'Neill 3 for his last 11, but overall 24 for his last 61, which is a shade below 400. When a guy gets that hot, it's almost impossible to conceive of a way that he could go 0 for 22. The 0-2 pitch. Now, Jimmy, the reputation that LaTroy brings into the game is the control problems, which have been proven out, but not today. What's he doing right?
Well, he's throwing his fastball in the strike zone. Look at O'Neill's swing here. In fact, Paul, he felt a little twinge in his knee. He had to reach so far for that one. He went down and grabbed his left knee. He was talking with Tom Kelly before the ball game how much admiration Tom has for Paul O'Neill as a hitter. With 2 strikes, he really covers that outside part of the plate.
Did he go? He did not. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Paul O'Neill. The mood is rather mellow today right now as the pitchers control the show. Another foul ball. Willie Banks quoted in a recent article in a Minneapolis newspaper talking about his experience in Minnesota, which was largely a frustrating time for him. Said it was difficult for the young pitchers like he and LaTroy Hawkins. They didn't think that the pitching coach Dick Such gave them much confidence.
Yeah, I was surprised to read that. I think Willie is a different person now than he was when he came up with the Twins. But hey, Dick Such coached 2 pitching staffs that won World Series titles.
Popped up by O'Neill toward the seats left side. John Shave coming back. Very light wind. Don't think that affected the fly ball. 1 out here in the Yankee 4th. There's Dick Such. Willie said, I don't think he passes along much confidence to young pitchers. There's some talented young pitchers maybe with a little different background that haven't developed there. Yeah, I think when things don't go right, you know.
Yeah, you can't just blame the coach. Now, I would say Dick Such might be more of a one-way type guy. Sometimes you'd like to have a coach adapt to everybody's personality. And obviously he didn't mesh with Willie's personality, but I don't think you can put the blame for your lack of success on the coach.
With 1 out, Tino Martinez skies one to left center. And Marty Cordova pulls it in 2 away. Everybody comes from a different background, and I guess that forces the really good coaches and managers to handle people in different ways. But the bottom line is, if you know the right way that you're supposed to pitch, that should be how you deal with everybody. Here's the right way how to pitch. That's how I want you to do it.
Don Zimmer made an interesting point. Most of Zims are interesting before the game as a manager. He said, Buzzy Bavasi years ago said, if you want to manage, here's some advice. From every manager, pick out 2 or 3 things you like, 2 or 3 things you don't think you like. And Zim was talking about things he got from Stengel, things he got from Billy Martin, Preston Gomez, and you have to do the same thing as a player. When you get advice from a coach, it doesn't all work for you. You have to have the ability to sift through it.
Bernie Williams launches one deep to right. Gone! His 3rd home run of the season. And the Yankees lead by a score of 2-0. A line drive screamer off the bat of Bernie Williams. Bernie Williams trying to refine the groove. That's one way to do it. Back live to Darryl Strawberry.
Well, 4 hits against Hawkins, 3 of them home runs, and that's 2nd time through the order.
Mark McGwire hit a 545-foot home run yesterday in St. Louis. That is beyond the black, the last row of the black in center field here at the stadium. 545 feet. Here's one that'll fall far less than that. And it's pulled down by Cordova. 2-0 Yankees over the Twins. We're going to the 5th inning. The pitchers own the show here today, except for that one big swing from Bernie Williams. David Wells returns to the mound with a lot of zeros up there. It's an MSG tradition. The 5th inning brought to you in part by Hoover. Nobody gets the dirt like Hoover. Nobody. David Wells rolling along here to the 5th inning. Al Troutwig now joined by Ken Singleton. The hitter will be Marty Cordova, the Twins left fielder who was busy last inning with a couple of putouts. Bernie Williams providing the answer for New York on the scoreboard. A double that turned into a run and a home run that was a lot easier of a run to score.
You look at Bernie and his all-around capabilities. He plays great center field. He hasn't made an error yet this year. Won his first Gold Glove last year. I still think he's just now getting into the home run stroke. Just starting to come to it.
That's a strike on the outside corner, and Wells gets Cordova. 6 strikeouts, 1 out in the 5th.
When a pitcher is going this well as David Wells has been, he hasn't allowed anybody on base as of yet. The first hitter in every inning usually sets the tune because he's been sitting in the dugout. Now he has to regain that momentum again, getting back into his groove. And yesterday, if you notice, when Ramiro Mendoza had shut down the Twins through 4, Marty Cordova got the first hit in the 5th inning, leading off the inning. A pitcher has to regain all the, that little bit of break in between innings. You have to use your warm-ups to get yourself back together again.
Yesterday, Mendoza perfect through 4. Here, Wells with 1 out and 6 strikeouts in the 5th. Uh-oh, we have a K shortage alert. But they're resourceful. They've gone to the napkins. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2-0 Yankees were in the top of the 5th on MSG.
Well, if they run out of Ks, they can always use.
Very good.
Michael. Okay.
Now you've done it. And Wells is ahead in the count to Ron Coomer. He struck him out back in the 2nd inning. And I'll tell you what, the fans who are here, and it's a near capacity crowd, have grabbed hold of this strikeout thing that Wells is building here this afternoon. He got it. Posada will have to make the throw. Martinez to the bag in time. The 3rd strike got free, and thus Posada had to make it official, but it's now 7 strikeouts for Wells.
Second time he's gotten Coomer, and this time he gets him to chase the pitch out of the zone. When you get a head on the count, 1-2, 0-2, best thing a pitcher can do is throw a pitch out of the zone and get a hitter to chase it. And Coomer, a little over anxious, and got himself out.
Wells has struck out 6 of the last 8. Changes speeds, and that just misses. Ball 1. This is Alex Ochoa hitting an even 250. He fouled back to Jorge Posada in his first at bat. Two balls and a strike.
Kitty had mentioned the fact that Ochoa was a big-time prospect in the Orioles organization. Well, he had averages like 307, 295, 301, 309 in the minor leagues.
Now finally, the sun looks like it's ready to poke through the overcast skies. 2 balls and a strike. What's the difference when you make the leap? Is it the curveball?
I think from a hitter standpoint, the pitchers have better control. It takes you a while to learn what the pitchers are trying to do to you.
Strike 2 as Wells battles back in the count.
Got a fastball to the corner, then throws a changeup. Ochoa's out in front. See, pitchers in the minor leagues, they fall behind 2-1. You could almost sit on a fastball every time, and you'll get it. In the major leagues, just like that, you get a changeup, and it's 2-2. And it really can confuse a young hitter.
Ground ball, Knobloch. Makes the throw right on the money. Through 5, nothing doing for the Minnesota Twins. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. Yankees 2 and Minnesota nothing. Here we have 2, yes 2 fans in 1. They are, I think, Twins, which is perfect because the Yankees are playing Minnesota. On the Delta Airlines schedule, Twins become the Orioles Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Coverage on MSG, and then the WB11 on Thursday evening. Then the Red Sox come to town. It's at Boston, sorry. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday afternoon. It's rivalry week for the New York Yankees. See those middle 3 games on the WB11, and we'll do the final game of the Boston series here on MSG. Chad Curtis starts things off for the Yankees. LaTroy Hawkins down 2-0, but he's been pitching marvelously, giving up only 3 hits. Curtis on the season, 303. And Kenny, while he may not be someone who can put a ball in the black, you certainly could. I'd love to get your thoughts on Mark McGwire's 545-foot home run at Busch Stadium yesterday in St. Louis. If you measure it out, the last row of the quote-unquote black here at Yankee Stadium is about 512 feet. That's right about there. So go about 30 more feet up on the wall. It would ricochet off the scoreboard in center field if Mark McGwire, and he did hit it to dead center yesterday, if he hit that same distance home run here at the stadium.
The ball started out in St. Louis and landed in East St. Louis, across the Mississippi.
Now, if you hit a ball 545 feet to the corners here at Yankee Stadium, it would hit the top row of the lights all the way here, 545 feet roughly, or the back row of the bleachers here, 545 feet. That's if you hit from that side of the plate.
Wow.
It's also 545 to the top row of the lights in the upper deck left field. I mean, that's Ruthian stuff. 4-3 on your scorecard. Curtis is retired. What's the furthest you ever hit one?
I don't know. I think I hit one at Shea Stadium and went over the bullpen and over the back fence of the parking lot. So that was a long one, but that was a long time ago. And now to hit one that far, I'd have to be using a golf ball. There's going to the bridge right there, the George Washington
That's what Jim
Bridge.
Cott said before. To Posada, it's ball 1, 1-0.
No, it wasn't 545. I'll tell you that. Longest one I ever hit.
Up to the black here was
440, 450. Yeah.
Hawkins evens the count on the American League Hoover scoreboard. Kansas City leads Boston 3-2. They play in the 6th inning. Darren Lewis has a solo home run. Texas leads Cleveland 1-0 in the 7th. Anaheim leads Detroit 2-1 also in the 7th. Pitch to Posada is a ball, 2-1. Tampa Bay and Baltimore knotted at 0 in the 6th. Can you believe the Orioles are below 500? Oakland and Chicago 2-2 in the 3rd. Ken Singleton maybe can believe it. Fouled straight back. What's missing with the Orioles?
You know, it's interesting. They don't seem to have the fire. Something that there are 13 players, maybe more, maybe 14, who can become free agents. So players have their thought process is different. They're thinking, well, maybe I won't be back. You know, they're thinking about their next contract, and you can't get your thoughts together to win ball games. That's an awful lot of free agents on one team.
It's an oddity in the AL East. Here's the 2-2 to Jorge Posada. I'll tell you one thing the Yankees are doing. They're giving a lot of foul ball souvenirs to their fans today. They are fouling off a bunch.
Because Hawkins is throwing a pretty good fastball in the mid-90s, and the hitters are late. And there's a souvenir. Beanie Baby and a baseball.
Michael Kay uncovered on the internet that the average life of a baseball is 7 pitches. Not today. Another one.
There's only 1 pitch for that ball.
That's right.
Yeah.
Today they're dying young. While Posada continues with the count 2-2, we'll take you around the National League. It is of note, Kerry Wood of the Chicago Cubs has 8 strikeouts now in the 6th inning as they've moved to the 7th, 6-0. He needs 15 to break the 3-game total of strikeouts, the record held by Nolan Ryan. 33 in his last 2 games as he tied the all-time strikeout record with 20.
He's got 3 innings to go.
Top of the 7th.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Another fly ball. This one flirting to go with the seats. And in foul territory, it's grabbed by the shortstop, Pat Mears. 2 outs.
Well, 3 Twins had a shot at that one, but Mears had the best angle. So you can see him calling that he has it. And a couple of steps to go before you reach the railing. It's out number 2. Good solid shortstop. Not flashy, strong arm. Plays the turf well in Minnesota.
Scott Brocious from 325 to 323 on his ground out back in the 3rd inning. Brocious 10 hits though in his last 24 at-bats.
Yeah, Hawkins has been primarily first pitch fastball, but he's located it fairly well. You haven't seen too many Yankees swing the bat on that first pitch they've taken. Yeah. That's what you don't want to happen when you're hitting.
New York Marriott marquee matchup of the 2 pitchers so far. The one thing you see on David Wells' side of the screen, zeros. 4 2/3, 3 hits scattered, 2 earned runs against him. And LaTroy Hawkins, although pitching well, trails 2-0. Just lets it go, and it's in there for strike 3. LaTroy Hawkins gets the Yankees down 1-2-3. That means I'm done, and Jim Cott comes back. See you on the postgame. Kenny,
thank you.
Carry us through.
Top of the 6th inning. Yankees leading at 2-0. The story has been David Wells. He has been perfect through 5 against these Minnesota Twins as the Yankees try and take the Twins 2 out of 3 in this series. Have a day off tomorrow. Then the Baltimore Orioles come into town on Tuesday night as they will open up a 3-game series. Bottom 3rd of the order, Shea, Valentin, and Mears to face David Wells. He's had a good fastball, excellent curve, spotted his changeup well, picked up some big strikes on changeups. And here's John Shea, who struck out his first time. And he swings at that first pitch and fouls it back.
I remember, Kenny, when Doc Gooden had his no-hitter 2 years ago, Gerald Williams made a terrific play on Alex Rodriguez, second hitter of the game. And there were, a few moments like that, a walk here or there at a base runner. But Wells, they haven't had, he's been so dominant.
There's a pitch, just misses outside, a ball and a strike.
A couple of lazy fly balls and 2 or 3 ground ball outs, and the rest strikeouts.
Yankees have won each of his last 7 starts. Pitch is fouled off, fastball in on the hands. I think one of the keys, Kitty, and I think you might agree, the ability to move the ball around. Not, just don't follow a set pattern where the hitter's sitting on the bench can watch and say, well, he's working his fastball in. He goes away with it. And then moves the change up around. Good breaking ball. Ball and 2 strikes on Shea. Swing and a miss. Well, foul tipped into the glove, and that's strike 3. Well, that is strikeout number 8, and now it's 16 in a row.
And there's an example of what you were talking about. This is a cutter. He's primarily thrown fastball and curveball, and that was a little cutter. Now, a 3rd pitch that the Twins have to deal with. But it's all set up by David Wells' ability to throw fastball strikes early in the count, and then he expands the strike zone. That's the simplest formula for pitching.
Javier Valentin called that on strikes in the 3rd inning. Be a changeup up high for a ball. One of the few pitches today that have had no purpose for David Wells. Well out of the zone. There's a good fastball, and it levels the count at 1-1.
A little extra on that one. Really the closest call he has come to allowing a base runner. You get a look at the overpowering fastball as he went to 3-0 on Matt Lawton and came back to get him, leading off the fourth.
Wells, who beat the Twins twice last year without a loss. 9-5 lifetime. To the corner for a call strike, 1-2.
And the neat thing about this is the fans, and there's going to be over 50,000 of them here today, have sensed this, I think, from about the third inning, how Wells has been in command.
When he struck out the side in the third. Curveball in there for call, strike 3.
Good overhand curveball. Again, Wells gets ahead with the fastball, and he has had an exceptionally sharp curve and then blended in enough of the cutters and even struck out Pat Mears with a changeup.
Mears was the third of the Twins hitters in the third inning when Wells struck out the side.
They better go to the copy machine with that K and get some more Scotch tape.
There's a little more neat version of the K's. 0-1 the count. And that will level it off at a ball and a strike on Pat Mears. Wells has had a good rhythm all day long. About the same amount of time between each pitch. Couldn't get Mears to chase, and for one of the few times today, he's behind on the count, 2-1. Not much to do but just sit back and watch as David Wells just wheels and deals through the Twins order. Pitch is popped in the air to center field. Coming on is Bernie Williams. And he puts it away, and the Twins go 1-2-3 again here in the sixth inning. David Wells has been outstanding. 18 in a row have been retired. We'll be back in just a moment. Yankees lead 2-0. Big crowd at Yankee Stadium, and New York Yankees baseball is brought to you in part by National Car Rental. So what are you waiting for? Let's go. Well, 2-0 Yankees. David Wells has been perfect. Troy Hawkins has been good, but not good enough. He's allowed 2 runs, 1 in the second inning, 1 in the fourth, and Chuck Knobloch will lead it off here in the sixth for the Yankees. He's lined out and flied out, 0 for 2. Pitch misses inside, ball 1. I have to pass this along right quickly to Frank and Lisa Lombardo. They're the proud parents of a new baby girl, Alexandra. 7 pounds, 6 ounces. Congratulations. Frank is one of our cameramen here at the stadium. Wasn't around yesterday, though. Pitch is down low to Knobloch, 2 balls and no strikes. Well, Kitty, I mentioned that Troy Hawkins has been pitching well, but David Wells has just outdone him.
Well against Wells, yeah. His performance overshadowed, but it's probably his best game of the year.
Allowed just 3 hits. And misses with that hard sinking fastball and falls behind Chuck Knobloch 3-0.
The other thing that's really helped all the pitchers in this series, as we've talked about it before, this is a very consistent and more of a strike calling umpiring crew. They'll call the borderline pitches strikes.
Here's a 3-0 pitch in there for a call strike. Knobloch, Jeter, and O'Neill for the Yankees here in the sixth. Bouncing ball to the left side for the third baseman, Shea. The Coomer, there's 1 out. Hawkins fell behind 3-0 and then gets the ground out to the third baseman. Knobloch back to the dugout. That little late movement on that fastball. And that's why he topped it to the third baseman. Here's Jeter. Single, stole the base. The Yankees' first steal since May the 8th. And Jeter, one of 3 strikeouts for LaTroy Hawkins in the game. Squares the bunt, takes the pitch, but it's over the corner for a call strike. You can see it. It's been a pitcher's day. The Yankees 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors. The Twins Nothing across the board. We're in the 6th inning here at Yankee Stadium. Big Beanie Baby crowd. There it is again. Tail on that fastball. Starts out and then darts back to that corner.
The other thing Tim McClellan has done is, as you see Valentino, the Beanie Baby, given away to all fans 14 and under, is he has called more of the strikes just above the belt. It would be called today the high strike. Not many umpires call that pitch. The last one to Jeter was there.
A weak swing and a miss, strike 3. So Hawkins 3 times in a row to the outside corner, picks up strikeout number 4.
You mentioned early in the game, let's see what the Yankees do with Hawkins, the second pass through the batting order and maybe the third, but the movement on that fastball and to see Derek Jeter swing like that tells you that I think this Yankee lineup has some respect for LaTroy Hawkins' fastball.
You've mentioned Tim McClellan calling the higher pitches. Now he's one of the taller umpires in the league. Even when he gets down on one knee, his head sits up over the catcher. See that? And maybe that's why he calls the high strikes. He sees it better. Ball 1 to O'Neill, who was struck out and fouled out 0 for 2.
Yeah, I think there have been about 3 or 4 pitches today that have been up between the belt and the letters that were called strikes, and you don't see that very often in the 90s.
Swung on and hit high in the air to center field. Matt Lawton ranges over, makes the catch, and the Yankees go quietly here in the 6th inning. So through 6, the Yankees lead it 2-0. Troy Hawkins has been pitching very good baseball, but David Wells has been perfect. Top of the 7th, 2-0 Yankees. Here's a look at the National Finance Corporation Skycam. National Finance Corporation. Homeowners, lower your monthly payments. Apply by phone, 1-800-LOAN-NFC. Oh, panoramic view of the stadium. Nothing better than a ballpark full of fans. Pitches up high to Matt Lawton. And that's ball 1. Lawton, like everybody else, has been retired, has flied out and popped out 0 for 2. Batting leadoff today in Tom Kelly's lineup. 2 balls and no strikes. Yesterday's ball game, Lawton batted 3rd against Ramiro Mendoza, and then in the opening game of the series against Andy Pettitte, he batted 2nd. We mentioned he's batted everywhere in the order except 7th and 9th. Pitches hit high in the air to center field. Bernie Williams. 1 out here in the 7th.
That's a thank you very much if you're David Wells. You know, he's the only left-hand hitter in the lineup, and sometimes as a left-hand pitcher you have a little more trouble finding the strike zone. You tend to look at the hitter. Fell behind 2-0, and Matt Lawton chased a borderline pitch.
Here is Brent Gates, All-American at the University of Minnesota, and Big Ten Player of the Year in his junior year. Takes a pitch low for a ball. Nothing across for Minnesota on our Twins Toyota box score. Gates is a switch hitter, and he fouls the fastball back, evens the count at a ball and a strike. Deep breath for David Wells. The 1-1 pitch. Looked like a change. Up high, 2-1.
You've probably been on teams, Kenny, where a pitcher's had a no-hitter or a perfect game, and you see on the bench they're moving, but nobody's getting up and walking around. You tend to find a spot, and if a pitcher has a no-hitter going, you just stay right there, and you don't. Not that athletes are superstitious, of course.
Gates with a roller foul, and that will level the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And once again, the fans with the rhythmic clapping. They want the strikeout. Wells so far has struck out 9. That's the same amount he struck out in his last start. And his last start was his season high in the strikeout department. Count goes full at 3-2.
Like Joe has had his hands tucked in his jacket pocket since the first pitch of the ball game.
Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on. Tino Martinez will handle it. Steps on the bag, and Gates is retired. 2 down here in the 7th.
What a day to have a performance like this, because every fan, for the most part, has sensed what is going on since early in the ball game, and they are into it with every pitch. That's only the third 3-ball count that Wells has had out of 20 hitters. No runs, no hits, and no errors.
2 outs here in the 7th, and the veteran Paul Molitor will come to the plate. Grounded out and flied out. Low for a ball. You wonder what's going through his mind out on the mound. He knows he's pitching a great game.
Throw strikes.
He just did, and the count is 1-1.
A lot of the players talk about feeding off the crowd at Yankee Stadium, the Yankee players, and I think that's a big boost to him today. It gives him a little extra shot of adrenaline to have a performance like this in front of a full house.
Oh, didn't get that one. 2 balls and a strike. The crowd reacts with every pitch.
Tim McClellan's going to have a lot of help these last 3 innings.
There's the target. Oh, man. Yeah. There's another one of the umpires here today. Molitor tried to check his swing. No swing, says John Hirschbeck. And now the count is 3 balls and a strike. And once again, a borderline pitch. Molitor checks. So it's veteran pitcher against veteran hitter. And if you go by the count, the hitter is ahead right now. Call strike 2 on the corner. He didn't give in. Count is full on Paul Molitor. David Wells has retired 20 in a row. So look at that last pitch. Fans on their feet here to the top of the 7th. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Strikeout number 10 for David Wells. 21 in a row have been retired. They're on their feet already. Here comes the 7th inning stretch. Boomer and the Yankees lead it 2-0. Fans, New York Yankee baseball is brought to you in part by Nissan, who remind you that life is a journey. Enjoy the ride. And we are here today at Yankee Stadium. Great crowd on hand. Good pitching matchup with Troy Hawkins and David Wells. He's been just perfect. Here's Tino Martinez. Ball 1. Tino is flat out twice, once to center and once to left. The Yankees scoring their runs in the 2nd and 4th innings. And lead 2-0. Good fastball by Hawkins. Ball and a strike. Bernie Williams is on deck, and Darryl Strawberry will follow Bernie for the Yankees here in the 7th inning. So, fans are all riled up for the 7th inning stretch. The inside corner for a strike.
It's so easy, Kenny, in a game like this to lose sight of the actual score of the ball game. I mean, this is a 2-run game. Hawkins has only allowed 3 hits.
Late on the fastball and fouls it back. 1-2. Hawkins came in having won his last 2 starts. Our Toyota Yankees box score. Bernie Williams on deck has been the big hitter today with a double and a home run. 2-2. Have you seen many pitchers that watching Hawkins in his white and how he kind of taps the mound with his right foot? It's almost like a dance step.
I think the first pitcher I noticed that did that was Fergie Jenkins. Did a little bit of a tap with his right foot.
Pitch is hit high and deep to right field, and not too deep. Ochoa makes the catch. That was off the end of the bat. Fooled me. And Martinez has now flown out to each one of the twin outfielders. He's 0 for 3.
And fooled Tino a little also, because that's one of the rare off-speed pitches that Hawkins has gotten over. The interesting now with Bernie and that success, you might see Hawkins go out of the strike zone. I don't think he wants to challenge Bernie anymore. He's 500 against him lifetime with 3 home runs.
He doubled over the head of Cordova in the second inning and homered into the right field seats in the fourth. To the corner for a call strike. Joe Girardi getting loose in the bullpen. I don't think we see many changes as you get to this point in the game. Bernie loops one into left field. It's going to be his third hit. Is he going to try for 2? He makes the turn at first, going to hit for second. Cordova's throw is late, and Bernie Williams is in with his second double of the ball game. Hustling double for Bernie Williams.
Only the 4th hit Hawkins has given up. 3 by Bernie Williams. Really wasn't that bad a pitch. I mean, Hawkins has to be happy with putting it on the outside corner knee high. Bernie just went with it. Great plate coverage. As he looks down, he knows immediately it's down the line, and he's got a good shot at 2. Cordova plays it as well as he can, but the throw is just offline.
Well, Bernie's at second with 1 out, and Strawberry to the plate, who was flied out twice to Cordova and left. Yankees up by 2, have a runner in scoring position with 1 out here in the 7th. Hawkins steps off.
And I bet about half of the fans right now, Kenny, are saying the only thing that could make watching a no-hitter a little bit better is this Darryl Strawberry hit a home run as well.
Give David Wells a little bit margin, more of a margin to work with. Two balls and no strikes. And it looks as though Hawkins is being pretty careful with Darryl Strawberry here.
I'm sure Valentin got some advice from the bench with first base open and Curtis on deck. Not challenge Strawberry with a fastball, first base open.
On deck, Chad Curtis. Williams leads at second. Once again, down low, 3 balls and no strikes. So you turn Strawberry loose here. He looks down at Willie Randolph.
I think the Yankees turn him loose. I'm not too sure that the Twins will throw him a fastball.
Signs more complicated with a man on second. There it is. Fastball in there for a strike. Sometimes as a hitter you can outthink yourself too. You think thinking like you're thinking. I'm like, he's not going to throw me a fastball.
Right.
I'll just sit here and wait for something off speed.
Don't want to be too anxious.
3-1. Foul back and a good cut. The count goes full to 3-2.
That was the one right there. You saw Darryl shake his head. You've said it before. Every at bat you'll get one good pitch to drive, and Darryl had his right there. This ball will be fouled straight back. Maybe a little higher than he'd like it. Darryl tends to like it from the belt down.
Full count now. You see nothing but fastballs in this at bat. There's another one hit high and deep to left field. Cordova back towards the corner. Has some room. Drifts with the wind. It's off the wall. Bernie Williams is the third. He's going to score. Strawberry's headed for third, and he is in there standing up. It is 3-0 Yankees. Now you saw the wind get that ball and tail it away from Cordova, and he was not able to make the play.
Well, we got the American League Championship Series all over. But this time in left field, Marty Cordova pleading his case with Mike Riley. He thought that he may have been interfered with out here. So you can see the swirling winds. He actually has to come back for this ball, reaches for it. No fan interference there. That just came right off the wall. Not even close to it. You see Cordova kind of close his eyes and wince and took his eye off the ball. And you can see the fan above Marty Cordova. I think what Marty is contending is that maybe on the way down the ball hit the fingertips of the fan. Maybe that's Cordova's. There wasn't any interference with him, but possibly he made contact with the ball.
Or maybe the fan got in his line of sight, and he wasn't able to make the play. Now watch him go for the ball and see the hands of the fan. Maybe those are in his line of sight while he's following the baseball, and all of a sudden he sees these hands splash in front of him and he can't make the play.
Yet unlike the stands in right field, Al Trautweg was pointing out, in right field there is an aisleway there where the fans cannot sit right up against the wall, but in left field the fans are right there. Tough call for Mike Riley. He's going to let Tom Kelly have his say. They don't have the benefit of the replays like we do, but it did appear from that shot that the fan possibly could have made contact with the ball or blurred Cordova's vision from seeing the ball. It's an argument they're not going to win, but Tom Kelly's going to have his say anyway.
For Strawberry, that will be his second triple of the year. And Bernie Williams has scored all 3 of the Yankee runs today. Marty Cordova, somewhat of a rough day out in left field. Bernie Williams is double over his head in the second inning.
One more look at it as Cordova goes up. It's right here where the fan, Cordova probably looks up, and that's what he sees as the back of the fan's hands. Lost sight of the ball. Because as he comes close to the ball, he kind of shies away from it. That distracted him.
Well, anyway, Strawberry is at third. The Yankees now have 5 hits and 3 runs. The Twins are going to be forced to bring the infield in with Chad Curtis at the plate. And the Yankees with a chance to add another run on the board. Curtis hasn't gotten the ball out of the infield yet today. Downstairs with ball 1. One thing Hawkins has done a pretty good job of today is keeping the fastball down. And Curtis, as we have learned over his time with the Yankees, he's a good high fastball hitter. And chops this one foul in the home plate area. A ball and a strike.
We showed the last at bat by Chad Curtis his percentage with a runner on third and less than 2 out. And it's not very high like most of the Yankees. And one of the reasons for it is his anxiety. He wants to swing to bat. And if you're an experienced pitcher and can tease him, experienced like Wells is, and keep it around the plate, he's going to chase more bad pitches than the average Yankee hitter would do.
Count here is 1-1. Swing and a miss. A ball and 2 strikes. Notice nobody really talking to the Boomer.
He's not talking to himself either. It's a very low-key bench because of David Wells' perfect game.
A ball and 2 strikes on Curtis. Infield in for the Twins. High fastball is fouled back. There's a look at the infield setup by Minnesota. The outfield playing Curtis. As you see Lawton moving a step or two over towards right center. Strawberry at third with 1 out. Boomer Wells with a 3-0 lead. Hopes it will get to 4. Two and two.
Here the guy's got a no-hitter going, and it's like he has no friends.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody wants to go around near him and say anything. They're all keeping a comfortable distance away from him, and that's very typical when a pitcher has something like this working for him.
Ball gets away, but not far enough for Strawberry to score, and the count is run full on Chad Curtis. One thing Curtis has been able to do this year, you mentioned how anxious he could be. That is, he's also gotten a few walks this year. His on-base percentage, first in the league. Pitch is hit hard by Mears into center field, a base hit. Strawberry will score. And that 4th run has come home. Chad Curtis picks up his 24th run, batted it in. So the Yankees with a double, a triple, and a single in this inning.
Wells not moving on the Yankee bench, but Curtis with a nice patient at bat. Ran the count to 3-2, got a fastball to hit, and because the infield was in, was able to get that past Pat Mears.
Well, Strawberry, who got the triple, comes home to score. Curtis is on first, and Jorge Posada will come to the plate. Posada has grounded out and fouled out. A check on Curtis at first. The Yankees with a win today would make it 2 out of 3. After dropping the opening game of the series. Then a day off tomorrow, then the Orioles come to town.
And I would think Curtis would try to steal second base here. The Yankees have tried to take advantage of Hawkins' motion.
There's ball 1.
There's the other line of thinking that goes through a manager's mind as you see Dan Nolte and bullpen coach Rick Stelmazik in the Twins bullpen is you like to have that hole open between first and second with a left-hand hitter.
Valentin getting the signs from his manager. One ball and 1 strike.
Give you an idea of the confidence, I think, and the respect Tom Kelly has for young LaTroy Hawkins in this game. This is the deepest he's ever gone into a ball game in terms of number of pitches. And these are the kind of days that managers like Tom Kelly say a pitcher really grows up on days like today. A lot of tough situations, and he's been able to pitch out of most of them.
Against a tough ball club. There goes the runner. Looked like a delayed steal, and Curtis is in there. Steal number 6 on the year for Chad Curtis. Well, he didn't go immediately.
Inexperience behind the plate. You see Valentin has not reacted until Curtis took off after the pitch crossed home plate. A perfect execution of the delayed steal. A couple of hops. Gates a little late in covering, but the throw high anyway. And the Yankees, after going 10 days without a stolen base, have 2 of them today.
Hawkins steps off, but the whole idea on the delayed steal is catch somebody napping, whether it's the catcher or the middle infielders. Any slight hesitation, and you could, as Kitty mentioned, Gates late getting to the bag at second. Two and 2 on Posada. The Yankees offense providing enough for David Wells. Now it's a matter of him providing the thrills for the fans from this point on. Pitch is low.
Yeah, the one thing David Wells likes to have these extra runs, but I think he'd like to see the Yankees go ahead and get back out on the mound. He has been in such a good rhythm, and now he's going to be sitting in that dugout for a good 20-25 minutes.
Full count on Posada, 1 out, Curtis at second. And he hits this one down the left field line. It's going to tail foul into the seats. I mentioned earlier the Yankees have not lost a series since the first week of the season.
Yeah, if they win this game, it'll be 15 straight series that they've won, and the last Yankee team to do that was the 1977 team.
21 years ago. Swing and a miss. Posada had a big swing and struck out. That is out number 2 here in the 7th inning. Fans, you want to catch all the action when the Boston Red Sox come to the stadium for 4 games on Thursday, May 28th and Friday, May 29th. Both of those games start at 7:30. And Saturday, May 30th at 1 o'clock, and Sunday, May 31st at 1:30. On Sunday the 31st, all fans will receive a Yankee cap, compliments of Dime Savings Bank. Tickets are available now at the stadium through Ticketmaster, the Yankee Clubhouse stores, and on the web at www.yankees.com. RUSS just takes a slider outside, ball 1. I've logged on to that Yankee website, and it is something else. A lot of information. And plus, you can order the tickets. RUSS is 0 for 2. He's still got a pretty good fastball. Yankee hitter still kind of late on the heat. A ball and a strike on Brosius. That's her Beanie Baby. Now I wonder if there's a lot of explanations in the stands about what David Wells is doing today.
Oh, I think the New York fans we know are so savvy that.
I mean, to the younger fans.
Oh, I think so.
Swung on, fouled off again by Brosius. Count is 1 and 2. A lot of youngsters here today on Beanie Baby Day, and this has turned into a very special ball game. I imagine that moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas are explaining that.
A perfect game.
Yeah, you might not ever see one of these again.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm sure the kids will say, what do you mean? I'm going to come back to the ball. A perfect game is different.
And he's 6 outs away from one.
Ball is looped in the air to right field. Coming on is Ochoa. He has good speed and makes the catch. Well, the Yankees come up with a pair of runs here in the 7th inning. Boomer Wells ready to hit the mound in the top of the 8th. He's been perfect thus far. We'll be back. Stay tuned. Fans, make sure for all the latest news, scores, and highlights from the world of sports, tune into the half-hour edition of MSG Sports Desk. That's tonight at 10:30. And you also want to hold on and for the national sports scene with an eye towards the hometown team. Watch Fox Sports News tonight, and that's at midnight.
And on that sports news tonight on the Sports Desk and Fox Sports News, they could be talking about some history made by David Wells. He has a perfect game through 7 innings. Marty Cordova leads off the top of the 8th. And the first pitch low for a ball. Doyle Alexander 22 years ago took a perfect game into the 8th inning for the Yankees, and Rico Carty of the Cleveland Indians broke that one up. Wells with 10 strikeouts. Fouled out of play, 1-1. If David Wells could pull it off, he would join some pretty, as you say, Kenny, brand name pitchers that have no hit the Minnesota Twins. I saw the first one, and it was a perfect game by ex-Yankee Catfish Hunter back in 1968. Vida Blue and Nolan Ryan have also no hit the Twins. 2-1. long layoff after the Yankees came up with 2 in the bottom of the 7th, and you pointed it out early in the game. Getting set to face that leadoff hitter is the most important thing. Towards shortstop, couple of hops. Jeter bobbles it for a moment to throw to Martinez in time. That is 22 in a row. 5 outs away from a perfect game by David Wells.
Here's Jeter with a ground ball, just mishandled it, but he, years ago there was a wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills, Albert Dubinion. He was known as Golden Wheels. Derek Jeter, golden hand.
But you notice the slight bobble, and I think everybody in the field right now feels a little pressure. They know what's at stake. A little added pressure in fielding ground balls for the infielders. Here's Coomer. He's been Wells' toughest hitter in the American League. Coming into the game, Coomer was 8 for 13 with a pair of home runs. Wells has retired him today on a pair of strikeouts. 1-1.
Back in 1991, I was fortunate enough to broadcast Dennis Martinez's perfect game at Dodger Stadium. And the last out was a fly ball to center field. And all the infielders agreed that they were happy the last out was a fly ball.
Yeah. Just a good old lazy can of corn. Just off the inside edge, 2-1. Fans want anything close to be a strike, and you'll notice about all the activity on that bench has been throwing a few sunflower seeds.
We've seen that guy before today.
Another would-be umpire.
That looks like a cutter and just missed the inside corner.
Toward Knobloch. He knocks it down, recovers, throws in time. 23 in a row.
Well, that might be the hardest hit ball today. Knobloch knocks it down, has time, makes the accurate throw, and there's out number 2 here in the 8th inning.
And you won't see many fans sitting down for these last 4 outs. Alex Ochoa. Popped out, grounded out. Curveball in, but a little high, ball 1. Pitch, 1-1.
That's the second time he's done that to Ochoa. You look at the infielders and they know what's going on.
They're probably feeling more pressure actually than David Wells because he's in action all the time. They're just waiting, hoping, like you said, hit a pop-up. Outside, 2-1. Joe Torre has not taken his hands out of that jacket pocket. I don't think Mel Stottlemyre has moved, nor Don Zimmer. Popped up, right side. Tino Martinez says he has it. And David Wells is perfect through 8 innings. Crowd on their feet, 50,000 plus have seen a gem. Yankees lead it by 4. Back at the stadium with some special happenings. David Wells, a perfect game through 8 innings as we head to the Yankee half of the 8th. They lead it 4-0. And there haven't been a lot of tough chances, Kenny, but this is probably a good choice for our Hoover pickup of the game.
Yeah, one thing you're taught as an infielder, knock down the hard shots. And that's exactly what Chuck Knobloch is going to do off the ball, off the bat of Ron Coomer. Doesn't roll far enough away for Coomer to beat it out, and Knobloch will make the play as he recovers, grips, and throws.
That's the Hoover pickup of the game. 2 ground balls and a fly ball. That is the first inning since the 2nd inning that David Wells has not picked up a strikeout. Looking at the new Twins pitcher, 6'6" Dan Nolte. And LaTroy Hawkins with a very, very solid pitching performance here. 7 innings, allowing the Yankees 4 runs and 6 hits.
I think one thing for Hawkins today, his control was pretty good. Didn't walk anybody, struck out 4. As we look at Nolte.
And if David Wells had one wish right now, even though 4 runs does not always seem like a comfortable margin, he would like to see the Yankees go out 1-2-3 and get out there and see if he can pull this off. Knobloch 0 for 3 against his former mates. He has flied to left, popped to short, flied to center. No runs and no hits. David Wells perfect through 8 innings, and he will face, obviously, the bottom third of the Twins order in the top of the 9th.
Well, we talked about fans leaving early. I don't think anybody's left today.
No. Nolte's first pitch in for a strike. I would say the ball that was hit to Chuck by Ron Coomer is the closest thing the Twins have had to a hit.
A lot of lazy fly balls to Bernie Williams and the other Yankee outfielders.
In the air again. That'll be 4 times that Knobloch has hit the ball in the air. Cordova's there. And there's 1 down. David Wells has had 3 3-ball counts. He went to 3-0 on Matt Lawton. Came back, went to 3-1 on Paul Molitor. He's come back from all of them. Here's Jeter. Has hit safely in 15 straight. But all the hitting statistics and hitting numbers for the Yankees secondary today to the pitching gem by David Wells. Breaking ball in, but no swings. There's John Hirschman. David Wells has had 2 3-hitters in his career. And a year ago, he retired the first 16 Texas Rangers in the game. 2-0 now to Jeter. Yep, they're going to get out of his way. Let him. that's the seat he's had, and he has stayed right there.
A lot of room to either side of him, too.
I mean, those guys scattered when he came around. Count's gone 3-0 to Jeter.
Is that Chuck Knobloch?
Yeah.
Plenty of room there. Scott Brosius.
Nobody talking
yep.
to anybody. In for a strike. Attendance just a touch under 50,000 today. 49,820 on hand. Many to get their Valentino beanie baby and at the same time see what could be the second perfect game ever pitched in Yankee Stadium. The other one, obviously, for you Yankee fans know, was Don Larson's 1956 perfect game in the World Series. Jeter draws a 1-out walk.
Jeter draws the first walk of the game.
And Tom Kelly is going to break up the rhythm of this game right now and make a pitching change. Paul O'Neill, Tino Martinez due up next, and Tom Kelly will go to his bullpen and bring in a left-hander.
Well, this move could work one of 2 ways. Either a little more time for David Wells to rest, or the fact that he wants to get back out there in a hurry.
Greg Swindell comes in to take over pitching for the Twins. Back at the stadium after this. Exciting day at the stadium. David Wells has a perfecto through 8 innings. Greg Swindell will take over the pitching now for the Twins in the bottom of the 8th inning. A reminder, the homestand continues after a day off tomorrow. The Baltimore Orioles come to town Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all-night games at 7:30. Tuesday the 19th, a special pregame ceremony. They'll unveil the decade of the 1920s Babe Ruth commemorative stamp. Tickets available at the stadium through Ticketmaster, Yankee Clubhouse stores, and on the web, www.yankees.com. Well, most of the fans and everyone not really too concerned about what Greg Swindell and the Yankee hitters do. They are eager to see David Wells take the mound in the 9th inning. There have been 14 regular season perfect games in the history of Major League Baseball. No Yankee has ever pitched one. Don Larson's, of course, is a World Series game. And no perfect game during the regular season has ever been pitched at Yankee Stadium. Jeter looked like he had thoughts of going, and Swindell keeps him close. The bottom third for the Twins would be John Shave, Javier Valentin, and a hitter who has been their best all-around hitter all year, Pat Mears, who's in quite a slump, batting out of the number 9 hole today. And when you look at Tom Kelly's bench, about the only veteran hitter he could bring off the bench as a right-hander would be Terry Steinbach.
And I would think that the Yankees will see him. David Wells will see him in the bottom in the top of the 9th.
O'Neill fouls that out of play. The last regular season perfect game pitched in 1994, this much might surprise some Yankee fans, was by ex-Yankee Kenny Rogers when he was a member of the Texas Rangers. And you mentioned the one that you had a chance to broadcast in 1991 by Dennis Martinez, and 10 years ago Tom Browning, the crafty left-hander of the Cincinnati Reds. Wells trying to stay as relaxed as he can. A breaking ball in for a strike, and it's 0-2 to O'Neill. Paul's had a tough day. LaTroy Hawkins made some awfully good pitches on him.
If I remember correctly, back in '91 when El Presidente pitched that perfect game, he only had 5 strikeouts. The fielders were tested, particularly Larry Walker, who played first base that day. A lot of tough plays at first.
Wells has 10. Breaking ball outside, and it's 1-2 to O'Neill. 10 Ks for Wells, and that's a look at the season averages of the 3 Twins hitters due up in the 9th inning. Got him. Probably as tough a day as you'll see Paul O'Neill have, and you credit that to the Twins pitchers. They've made some good pitches on him.
This is a pitch that looks like it's going to be a strike, and then they'll end up out of the zone, and then O'Neill chases it. Good pitch by the left-handed veteran Greg Swindell. Looks like he's found a home in a bullpen.
Notice not a lot of productive numbers from the Yankee lineup. It's been the Bernie Williams show. Bernie has 3 hits, pair of doubles, and a home run, and he's scored 3 of the 4 runs. He waits on deck as Tino Martinez steps in. Breaking ball low, ball 1. And you know as much of a Yankee fan David Wells is. Most of you know the story of him buying the Babe Ruth cap and wearing it for a while in one of his starts. And you see the breaths getting deeper and deeper. He is very aware of what a historic performance this would be. It already has been to go perfect through 8.
Looks kind of calm, doesn't it? To me, yeah.
On the outside.
Yeah.
Not inside. Trying to stay as calm as he can. Trying to keep that routine the same as it's been the first 8. Jeter back in time. Had a roommate that had a Jack Kralik back in the early 60s. Had a perfect game going from 3rd inning on. I had to make one of those comfort stops, run up to the clubhouse. I didn't dare to move. He finally issued a 2-out walk with 2 out in the 9th inning and pitched a no-hitter with 1 base runner. All this just adds to the anxiety for David Wells.
Jeter has stolen a base this afternoon, his 10th of the year.
Well, looks like he's actually broken out in a smile and is talking to someone on the Yankee bench.
That doesn't mean they answered him.
Tried to get out of the way, and that caught the bat, fouled out of play, and it's 1-2 to Tino.
Here's a look at that last pitch. Target is low and away. You can see the pitch nowhere near the target, and Tino tried to swing out of the way, and the ball hit the bat.
Jeter at first. He drew a 1-out walk, the only walk of the ball game. Just off the edge, 2-2.
Well, Frank Robinson came in here yesterday and had a talk with both clubs about speeding up games. Somebody was listening. The last 2 days,
the pitchers and the umpires were listening. They're throwing strikes and they're calling strikes. Popped up, foul. That'll reach the seats, and the count will hold at 2-2.
I mean, the way the pitchers have been working, 2 exciting ball games back to back. Yesterday with Ramiro Mendoza. Of course, the Yankees held on to win that one 5-2, and today, Boomer Wells.
Yeah, a little nervous stretching and moving around on the bench. Again, Tino stays alive.
Spoiling some pretty good off-speed breaking balls. Making Swindell work just a little bit harder.
Jeter takes his lead.
You know, his lead has been a lot shorter than when he's really thinking about stealing.
Yeah, if he were, I think with Tino in the batter's box, he's going to let him have a rip, and you could tell the fans they want this inning to get over with too. They're anticipating the top of the 9th, as is David Wells. Count's gone full.
It looked like a fastball in to set up a breaking ball away.
Bernie waits on deck, and he can't wait to get up there. He's got 3 hits in today's ball game, responsible for 3 of those 4 Yankee runs. Popped up right side. Kuma near the stands puts it away. So we are heading to the top of the 9th. Stay with us. David Wells will try to pitch the first regular season perfect game in Yankee history. We'll have it for you when we come back on MSG. Fans on their feet at the stadium as David Wells prepares to start the 9th inning. We welcome all of you that have joined us nationally on ESPN. These fans have sensed a perfect game since the 3rd inning when Wells struck out the side. He'll face John Shade. And the first pitch low for a ball. He has struck out 10. He has gone to a 3-ball count 4 times. And has been in total command the entire game.
First hitter in each inning is a key, no matter what type of game you're pitching.
Shade chases a high fastball, and the count is even at a ball and a strike. We said it would be the first regular season perfect game in Yankee Stadium history. Let's go back to October of 1956 when Don Larson got Dale Mitchell looking at a called strike in the 1956 World Series. Strike 2.
Well, the crowd is going to erupt with every strike.
Twins desperate with the rally caps on. Joe Torre has not moved. Fouled at the plate, and Shade stays alive.
That curveball still has a lot of bite to it, as it has had all afternoon. Curveballs have been working, changeup has been excellent, and his fastball well spotted.
Just off the edge. And the count is even at 2-2. I wonder if Joe Torre has ever sat through an entire big league game with his hands in his pockets for about 2 hours and 40 minutes. That has been the position he has been in since the first pitch of the ball game. It stays alive. The closest thing the Twins have had to a hit was a sharp ground ball by Ron Coomer that Knobloch knocked down and threw out for the second out of the 8th inning.
David Cohn
hiding. Popped up to short right field. Knobloch back. O'Neill in. O'Neill is there. And David Wells is 2 outs away from a perfect game. No movement. Billy Crystal picked a good day to come to the ballpark. Those Hollywood stars have a flair for the dramatic, don't they? Tom Kelly will not go to his bench. Rookie Javier Valentin. It's the curveball low for a ball. Strike call, 1-1.
David Wells has not thrown a fastball in the middle of the plate today. Everything has either been to the inside corner or the outside corner.
Curveball fouled at the plate, and it's 1-2. Strikes, the 11th strikeout, and David Wells is down to 1 more out for the 15th perfect game in Major League history. The first for a Yankee during the regular season.
That last pitch was not supposed to be a strike. You saw Posada mention bounce the curveball. I'll block it. Valentin bit and struck out.
No movement on the Yankee bench. Pat Mears, perhaps the Twins' best all-around hitter, their last hope. Strike 1.
Well, how nervous is Posada behind home plate? He's making the calls.
Popped up right field near the line. O'Neill appears to have room. He puts it away, and David Wells has pitched a perfect game. What a day to come to the ballpark. Almost 50,000 here. And from the third inning on, when David Wells struck out the side, I think, Kenny, that fans had a sense that something special was happening.
Well, you get down to those last 3 innings, and I thought when he got Paul Molitor out to end the 7th inning, I mean, Molitor's as tough as he come. I know he's not having a great year, but when he got Molitor out, struck him out to end the 7th, I thought maybe he's going to do it.
The Yankees scored 2 in the bottom of the 7th, and David Wells had to sit for about 20 minutes. The 8th inning was the only inning since the 2nd that he did not strike out a hitter. And that was the inning you talked about when he went to 3-1.
Well, when I saw Dennis Martinez pitch his perfect game in 1991, I thought I'd never see another one. But I've been fortunate enough to see one at Dodger Stadium and now Yankee Stadium.
And you saw David Cone, as we'll get another look at the last out of the game. David Cone wants David Wells to come back out for a curtain call. The fans are sticking around. That's the last out that O'Neill catches. Here he comes. David Wells back out of the dugout.
There's a look at the last pitch, and he knows it's a done deal. It's headed in the direction of Paul O'Neill, and it's over.
The 15th regular season perfect game in Major League history. And the first ever at Yankee Stadium. What a day for it. What a wonderful crowd. Almost looks like the last out of the World Series.
You know, when you think about it, Kenny, you go back a couple of starts and David Wells was man at the world in Texas. A few starts later, they carry him off the field here at Yankee Stadium.
A magical moment for David Wells and the Yankees, particularly for David because of his love for the Yankees. Talked about him wearing Babe Ruth's cap last year. This is his 119th pitch of the game. And that puts him in the record books. No one ever has pitched a perfect game during the regular season at Yankee Stadium until today. May 17th, 1998, and David Wells is in the record books. That's David Cone urging him to take the curtain call, which he did. Obviously a lot to talk about in our post-game festivities here at the stadium. Talked about, Kenny, the fans leaving early.
Wow.
Most of them today are staying around even after the game is over. Yankees win it 4-0. Bernie Williams, the hitting star, with a home run, a couple doubles. So stay with us. Lots to talk about here at the stadium. David Wells pitched a perfect game